Coach Russo, you just got back from Vancouver, Washington, where one of your runners, Annabel Clayton, competed in the NAIA National Championships. How was the trip for you?
It was fantastic from the standpoint that both Annabel and myself was our first trips, our first experience in seeing what that level of competition is like, and she performed fantastic, given it was her first experience out there, and the level of competition, the experiences surrounding the meet. It can be overwhelming, but she handled it great.
Sure. I understand she finished 85th?
She was 84th overall, right? On the leaderboard it said 85th, but in the final results it was 84th.
And how big was the field?
341 runners. She finished 84th, and she ran 19:20, which was pretty consistent with what she had been doing all year. She had been pretty much under 19:10, especially the last month and a half of the season, and she had a personal best of 18:58, and so 19:20, given the layout of the course, the number of competitors, was pretty consistent with the effort that she's been given all year long.
As a first-year runner, it's pretty impressive to finish that high in the top, quarter of the field, I would say. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, as I was telling a lot of people, you can have people that believe they are really ready to go. They've trained properly, they've gotten the right amount of sleep, everything seems perfect, and then when they get on that start line, a lot of times that moment can be too big for them. And I thought, so it can go either way. Kids can either rise to the occasion, or in many times that moment can be a little bit too overwhelming, especially when it's your first experience. And so I thought the way she competed and the way she demonstrated a lot of poise and confidence in herself, and she kept her composure in the field. One of the comments that she made is that she had never been in a field that was that aggressive. Well, throughout the entire race, I mean, she probably had 10 to 15 runners around her the whole time. And probably outside of Louisville, when we ran in the Louisville Classic this year, was that the particular case where you had that many in the field and you're trying to keep your composure in terms of you don't know where you're particularly at in the field. So that was one of the things I thought she did really, really well given her first opportunity.
Sure. How does that change the mindset of a runner being in a field with a higher level of competition than you're used to competing against?
Well, I think that's a great question in the sense that, first of all, now she knows that she can compete on that stage. That was one of the goals that we had at going all the way back when I was recruiting her. As I said, one of the goals, if you come here, is to make it to the national championships your first year. And that was something I put in front of her all year long. And then for her to go out there and experience it, and then to see how well she did, is a huge confidence booster for her. And I think moving forward, it'll fuel, her motivation to want to continue to work harder, to do those things necessary that'll take her to the next level. I mean, 84th is a starting spot. Now getting next year, hopefully in the top 50 to top 30 would be another huge breakthrough for her. And I think she can certainly do that given, natural talent, her the leg speed that she possesses. Her work ethic is really good, and she really pays attention to detail. She does a lot of things on her own that put her in position to be successful on a week in, a week out basis.
You mentioned to me before that she's a hard worker who always does the little things. What specifically does she do that sets her apart from other people?
In terms of the little things, I think, I have observed her on a number of occasions, like the stretching that she goes through, the core exercises that she goes through, the weight work that she does on the side. Those are all really small things that can lead to really breakthrough performances. And as a coach, especially in what I do, you have to rely on kids to do things outside of the normal practice day to get better or to get yourself into that elite level. And I think now, as I said, that she has experienced the nationals, I think that's going to provide her with a lot of motivation to want to go after being an All-American down the road. And I think she can do that because, again, she pays attention to detail. She never misses practice. She's always, working really hard and wanting to get better. And she's got a great attitude.
What does it do for a program to have an athlete advance to that stage and participate at the national level?
I think it speaks volumes to, potential recruits, that they can come here and they know they're going to be developed and they know they're going to have the opportunity to compete at the elite level. And I think that's extremely important for anybody who takes, sport at the collegiate level seriously. That is one of the things that when I came here, one of my goals was to make this a national class program. And I think what we saw in Annabel and what she was able to accomplish this year certainly springboards the program, hopefully to recruits in a way that demonstrates to them that if they come here and they have the right attitude and the right work ethic and the right commitment and focus, that they will be successful, they will realize their full potential here. And that's the thing we want to do is, Annabel stands as an example to everyone out there that if they do the right things and they have faith that if they do come here, they are going to get better, that they're going to be able to experience what Annabel experienced this past weekend.
How does it affect the other runners who are already on the team to be able to train with somebody who's achieved that level of success?
I think, again, that's a really good question in the sense that the kids then, they aspire to want to work harder and do the right thing. And I think that the kids had a really good chemistry this year. Kids all liked one another. They all supported one another, and they all worked hard for one another. Our goal next year is not to just take individuals. We want to take a team out there. And that's the most important thing, is team chemistry. Is everybody working in the same direction together? Is everybody supporting one another? And I think that we have a foundation here where recruits coming in, kids coming into the program are going to feel welcome. They're going to feel encouraged by their teammates. I never sensed at any time in any situation where the kids were envious, of how a particular individual did. They were always really supportive, and when we went to practice, those kids always worked to improve. Whether it's in interval workouts, or whether it was on the roads, kids always worked together. You never seen them, split apart or anything like that. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that you wonder how it's going to impact the team, and I think it can only do one thing, and that's to impact the program in a very, very positive way.